And thank you so much for joining us, everybody, for Worth It TV. I am your host, LaQuanda McCoullum, and I am super excited about today's show, baby. We are going to be talking to Miss Sula Carlton, and we are talking about blooming anyway. And listen, she is going to have us growing and flourishing. So y'all want to stay tuned for this episode. And before we get started with today's show, we're going to start this week off like we do every other week, and that is with our word of the week. And this week's word is you have always been worth it. Let me explain something to you. I don't care what you have experienced. I don't care what trauma you have seen. I don't care how bad your life started off. I don't care anything in between, even if it started off grand, if it was phenomenal, wealthy, all those kinds of things. I want you to understand, which took me a long time to understand, that your worth is not hinged on the amount of money that you make, the degrees you have or don't have, how pretty you are, how tall or short you are, the BBL you got last week or didn't get, none of the above. Your worth is hinged on the very fact that you were born. And the fact that you were born is the only validation that you need to understand that you can have every good thing that God intended for you when He thought about you before you entered into your mother's womb. So if you get nothing else out of what I said, I want you to understand that your worth is hinged on your mere existence. Nothing else. I hope that was helpful to you. And I really do. And before we bring out our guests, we're going to talk about this one young lady who did it because she be doing it. No way. She be doing it. Ow, she be doing it. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, and so this week we are celebrating Michelle Snow and her amazing network, Grow with Snow Co. Listen, this woman she started out as a small business entrepreneur, then she turned that into coaching, and now she's coached thousands of entrepreneurs. She's helped businesses, thriving organizations succeed. And hey, she's helping me succeed because this is where we take our show at each week. And so, listen, if you want to connect with her, you want your business to thrive, or better yet, you need a space to grow and to incubate your business, then follow her at Grow with Snow Co. on Instagram so that you can stay connected. Girl, Michelle, I appreciate you because you be doing it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so, right before we bring up our guests, we're going to go over to this quick commercial break.
I used to think a godly person looked like this until I realized God looks like me. I am the image of God.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. And joining us today is Miss Sula Carlton. I don't even know where to begin, start, end, or finish with her story, but I'll start here because I forget this a lot. I want to ask you first, before we even dive into your topic, what would you have done differently had you always known your worth?
I think I would have got a better and closer understanding with the God of my understanding, knowing that He had given me grace from the very beginning.
Mm. So wait a minute. She said she would have gotten
Gotten a
a better
better
understanding,
understanding.
knowing that God had given her grace
from the
from
very
the very
beginning.
beginning. We can park right there. Okay, take the keys out and go home on that. Okay, because that's something. Because a lot of times we don't. We do one thing and then we beat ourselves out for any down. Excuse me, for an eternity.
Yeah,
But to know that you can get up from a space, you don't have to stay down, even if you put yourself there.
yeah.
Man, that's something. Oh,
Faulty belief system.
faulty belief system.
Yeah.
Well, listen, already you already know she's giving up their therapist vibes because she is one. Okay. Already. So listen, we're going to. I'm not even going to say much because I'm going to let her talk a lot. But your topic today, what we're discussing, is blooming anyway, regardless of your age or stage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell folks a little bit about what I've experienced from you,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would like for you to dive in a little bit deeper. Okay. Now, so I'll start here. One of my I interviewed. I'm gonna call her doctor. Look, Dr. Sula. Look, she not, but I'm gonna call her that. But I'm gonna call her because she was on a show before and she talked about restarting her life in her
50s.
50s. Um, a complete restart, a complete reset. Listen, a lot of us giving up at 20, a lot of us giving at 10, 15, 20, 30. She did a complete reset in her life, completely changed the whole trajectory in her 50s. She's 65 now and looking wonderful, might I add.
They say black don't cry.
That's what they tell me. Okay, look at me over here not crying. Okay, but share with us the journey of your transformation.
Well, I mean, I'm a sister from North Philly,
Hmm.
and modest means, grew up in the heart of North Philly, and mother and father both were addicted to alcohol. Aunt raised me. I was a ward of the courts, and it was a spiral from there. Child abuse, sexual molestation, the whole nine. My story is no different than most people. And then I did not want to stay in that. And so I tried to bring myself up out of that and was able to, dust myself off and turn myself around by the grace of God. And when I was able to do that, I went back to school and said, let's reinvent myself. And so I started school, created a few companies, regaining my life coaching, and that's what I did. I regained my life. Um, but before that, let me go back. With the child molestation and the abuse, I had put myself in bondage with addiction myself. And so I had the shackles on my feet, and I had stopped, and God gave me the grace to get out of that as well.
So when you say you found yourself with shackles, what type of addiction, if you don't mind sharing, did
Crack cocaine, alcohol, you name it, men. Food was my first addiction. I've always been overweight, struggling with my weight because, again, society has put so many labels on us. If you're not 25, 26, 20, you're not looking beautiful. So we never loved ourselves coming up. We didn't think we were beautiful, but I know I am today, so I ain't worried, you know, because beauty is within.
mm-hmm.
But it took me a long time to find that. And so when you love yourself and have acceptance with who you are, then you can start that healing process.
So when do you think, you mentioned a couple things, and I want to just restate them because it's somebody who out here who's watching the show, right?
Yes.
And they may have battled with some of the things you mentioned. You mentioned crack cocaine, you mentioned men, you mentioned alcohol, you mentioned food, you mentioned those things, and you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned how they had you in shackles.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's a hard space. That's a
Yes.
space you got to break out of them. It's not easy to get out of shackles. All right. Somebody either have to have a key or you got to have strength enough to break them shackles off. All
You
right.
ask God.
Right. She asked God. Now, when was it? What age?
I
Where
was in
were
my
you?
late 40s
Late 40s.
when I said, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to live my life like this anymore. And
Mm,
I knew that I didn't have to. I knew that, see, the enemy is always out there. He starts from the very beginning, from the day I was conceived. He's seen the light that God had already put in my life. So he'd already put all of those adversities in my life. I had to go through all of that to become the woman I am today. But I didn't know that then. It was my process. I'm a true believer that we have to go through all these trials and tribulations in order to be able to share my story to help someone else.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you said you were in your late 40s.
In my late 40s.
Okay.
When I admitted that I had a problem, I needed to seek help. And with God's grace and mercy, he helped me pull myself up out and get the help that I needed.
Okay. And in your late 40s,
Mm-hmm.
what did he break the shackles off of you from? What were you broken from?
Self-inflicting pain on myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not loving myself, not wanting to live. Because I was there at one time too. You know, we all suffer from something, whether it's depression, anxiety, self-loathing, self-worth, you know, and the expectations that others put on ourselves. And sometimes that we put unrealistic expectations on ourselves.
Yeah.
I should be here by 25 and I should be there by 30 and the biological clock is ticking. We got to live by what God says.
Live by what God says.
Because timing is everything. And so we got to bloom the way God has us to bloom.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up, and I'm 65. I'm not finished blooming yet.
I'm not finished blooming yet at 65. Okay.
At 65.
And I'm not finished blooming yet at my age. Okay. So let me ask you a question. So once the shackles were broken in your late 40s, what was next for you?
Let me educate myself more. It was a lot. I had, you know, lost a lot of time. If you don't use things, you lose things. So I went back to school and I got some education. And then I said, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And God said, nope, you're going to do this. Give it back. And that's why I went back to school to be a therapist.
And so
helping others.
So when did you get your degree?
I graduated with a master's degree in counseling in 2016.
Okay. And how old were you then?
Ooh, I don't even remember. I'm 65 now. I think I was in my late. There you go.
56.
There you go.
So wait a minute. So what you're telling me is that late 40s, the shackles were broken from addiction.
I'm celebrating 19 years of recovery come November the 18th.
November, so you coming up on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And then yes, and then so after that, after you were freed, you said, I'm not stopping there because that being broken from the shackles weren't enough. Now I gotta go and get, right? And so after that, in your 50s, you went to go get your degrees. Okay. Did you already have your bachelor's prior to that time, or you got it in your 50s?
I got an associate, a bachelor's, and then a master's, and 2 certifications.
In your 50s?
In that time, yes. I started in 2007 and I did not stop until 2016. Well, I did stop, y'all. I had breast cancer in 2012, so it slowed me down for a year. But you know, you take the bitter with the sweet, and you keep moving.
And so,
say you hungry.
I don't even know what to say, but it's a good time for a commercial break because I need a minute. Okay. So we're going to go to commercial really quick and we'll be right back to just sit at your feet a little bit. And so that we can glean from your experiences in your life and hope that you water us.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
I used to think that doing the right thing meant following the law, falling in line. Turns out, laws only protect certain people, especially when Black women's lives are at stake. I was told to stand down in Kuwait, that it wasn't my country, but this country is mine. So I won't.
You run into some trouble. Turn that shit into a graveyard.
Thank you. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. And I kind of, I'm, I'm lost for words. I'm going to be honest with you, but I want to talk to you and ask you. Um, let's move ahead a little bit, and then we'll
Hmm.
come back
Okay.
because I want to talk about how because you may have suffered for addiction for some time in your 40s, right? All the way up until your late 40s, right? And I want to know that moment, what shifted for you, and what how was your mindset when you were addicted? Because sometimes, not that we're walking people through addiction, but sometimes it's good for people to identify with how, oh yes, I felt that way, or oh yes, I'm feeling that way now, to be able to usher them out of a space.
For some people, for myself, mine came with not wanting to feel the pain from my trauma. So I
Mm,
use that as to make me not feel the hurt, the pain, the shame. Because, when we go through certain things in our lives, abuse and neglect, they tell you, especially rape, you better not tell. And then when you do tell someone and they don't believe you, then you're feeling more hurt. And so for me, that's what I went through. The person that was supposed to protect me didn't believe me, and that was my mom. And so what was I to believe? If I can't trust my mom, I can't trust no one. And so I gravitated to food first. That was my first addiction. And then when that didn't work and I left and went to college, I always wanted to fit in, and I did never fit in because I was the biggest, the tallest, the blackest. And so, of course, I want to be your friend. And if you were doing something, I want to do what you do. And you were doing drugs, so I did it too. I did not know I was predisposed. If I'd have never tried it, I would have never liked it. And then once I took it, I couldn't stop it. And so, nobody wakes up and want to be addicted. It's something that happens. And once you start, you can't stop and you need help. And that's when, because we all are affected by drugs in some way, in some form or fashion in our family. And I know most of you friends will say, oh, Johnny, get yourself together. But Johnny can't get himself together now. He needs
mm,
help and you need to support him. Take him to the nearest treatment center. That's how you get Johnny the help. Don't just feed him from out the door because he
yeah.
coming in and he's stealing your stuff. Yes, I know that. Help him by taking him to the nearest treatment center
Mhm.
because he's addicted and he can't help himself. If he had cancer, you take him to get chemotherapy. He
Ooh.
suffers from a disease that is uncontrollable. And so when we get the knowledge to know what people are suffering from, then we can help them more instead of shunning them and saying, oh, he a drug addict. No, 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 no. It's more deeper than that, you
Oh,
know. And so when I found that out, because I didn't know, I was just getting high. When I found out what I suffered from, I had to educate myself as well.
yeah,
Because when we know better, we do better.
yeah, yeah. And so you already what was that pivotal moment for you? I want you to take me back to the moment that you flipped the switch. That moment. What
When
was
the
that?
light bulb went
Yes.
off,
Take me back there. What were all those emotions that you were feeling?
couldn't do it no more. I was just devastated. I was when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I know everybody's heard that statement, it's so cliche, but it's the truth. Yeah, well, that's where I was. I was like more so a chicken. You could stick a fork in me. I was
You
done.
was done.
180-degree Fahrenheit. I was done. Because that's when the chicken is really done.
Right.
I was done. Done, 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 done.
Right.
And I couldn't do it no more. And I again, I couldn't subject my children to it no more. And they were young teenagers. They ain't asked for this. And I knew it was another way to live.
You knew
It
another way to
had to
live.
be.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
We can feast on that for a long time. Okay.
Hmm.
But I want to let the people know what else God had brewing in your life in your 50s. Might I
Yeah.
add? I think I had done.
Yeah.
Uh,
I got married.
when you get married, girl?
I got married in 2015 to a wonderful, beautiful man. I's married now. And that's amazing because I didn't think anybody would want me,
Mm,
crazy as I was. But change comes, along with me changing my thinking, which is how I stop using, change my life, change who I am, got a closer relationship with the God of my understanding. All of that was with me changing my thinking. And now I gravitate to helping others change their thinking, change their life. I get up every day wanting to help. You can't save them all, but if I can save one.
Right. And so how old were you when you got married?
In
Notice
my
how I'm going back to that.
in my 50s, I guess.
Yeah.
Both of us first time married people in my 50s. I got married in 2015. So I must have been 55. Something
50,
like so.
55.
Yeah, because we're coming up on 9 years next year. We celebrated 8 years this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And love has no age. Love has no age on it, you know. And so that's what I do. And then I didn't stop there. Even though the breast cancer and the illnesses and arthritis and all of that, just let me know that adversity will come. And if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. And I started businesses to help people, to let people know that ain't no stopping me now. I'm going to bloom anyway. I don't care what age you are. Age ain't nothing but a number.
Age is nothing but a number. So I want to, before we move on to our next segment, what I would like for you to do,
Hmm.
because let me, first of all, let me walk the folk down this timeline. Okay. So in her late 40s, um, Miss Sula Carlton, she decided that she had enough with her addiction and she got help. She is 19 years now in recovery from drugs and alcohol, right? She did that in her late 40s. Throughout her 50s, she got her associate's degree, bachelor's degree, and then got her master's degree, which in finality, that was about 55, 56,
Hmm.
right? While at the same time, she started businesses, which she's a life coach
Life
and,
coach,
and
motivational
therapist and motivational
therapist,
speaker
travel agent.
and travel, where she supports everybody else in their endeavors toward mental and holistic wellness,
Hmm.
right? She got married at the same time. She got breast cancer and
Yes, Lord.
survived that as well. And my thing is, she just keeps on blooming.
I'm like the energizer battery.
She keeps right on blooming. So if this isn't a testament for me, this was a testament again, like we hear it so many times again, but to actually meet people who have actually been in a space of overcoming is so energizing because we can think, when you sit alone in a room, if you sit alone in a room, you think you're the only person that ever had these experiences before in your life if you sit alone long enough. But when you gather around some other people who have had similar or worse off experiences than you, and they are still making it, they're still blooming, they're still thriving, they're still going after. It just makes you feel like, you know what, I can, if you can,
And
I
I
can.
can.
Right.
Hmm.
If it's a boo waiting for Miss Sue,
Hmm.
then it's a boo waiting for me too. Okay.
Just plant that seed.
Oh, plant the seed. I
That's
don't know what
right.
seed she talking about, but ain't nobody planting no seeds over here, amen.
Not that.
But give somebody some encouraging words if you don't mind that may be afraid to bloom or they think their life is over because they hit a certain age.
I would say to them, believe in yourself. Never stop believing in yourself and believe in God. Ask God for what you want. That's what I did. I asked God for what I wanted. But we have to understand that we're on His assignment. So you have to ask Him what is His will for your life.
Mm-hmm.
And then as long as you're on His will and you're in accordance with Him, you can't go wrong. Then you're going to bloom anyway
Mm-hmm.
because you're in harvest time. Time is everything.
Time is everything.
And so when you're on God's time, your harvest, you plant that seed, it's going to come up and you're going to be fine. Just
Mm.
believe in yourself and believe that God got you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank you
for having
so
me.
much. It's so much that I got from your story. Um, I am grateful, but more importantly, I am grateful that you experienced what you experienced and that you
Me
didn't let
too.
it stop you.
Made me the woman I am
Right.
today.
But what I'm saying is, if you didn't go through what you went through and live through it
Hmm.
and be able to tell me, then
Hmm.
I wouldn't think that I could live through what I'm going through. So I thank you for making it. I'm thanking you for having the pivotal moment and deciding to turn and go another way. I'm thankful that you decided to get your degrees at whatever age that you are. I'm grateful that you decided to change and welcome new relationships and things into your life. I'm thankful that you did not let breast cancer stop you or illness stop you. I am grateful that you were able to stand in your faith and believe in God to know that He can do it and He will do it if you align yourself with Him. I appreciate you.
Thank
If
you.
nobody ever says it, I thank you for your life.
Thank you.
And I thank you for.
Thank you.
Mm. I thank you for your life.
Thank
Now, we're supposed to do is it worth it from here?
you. Oh God.
And we still gonna do it. We still gonna do it, but
Dating the mother and the
right.
father of
So
X.
we're gonna get into this somebody. We needed this segment to stop the tears from rolling
Oh God.
because I don't want to look like a raccoon up here with my eyeliner
Right.
dropping down.
Oh my God.
But we know what to do.
Right.
If it's worth it, we're gonna say it's worth it. If it's not worth it, we're gonna say it's not worth it. So dating the mother or father of an ex. Is it worth it? No.
Now,
It absolutely, I don't care how much money they got.
no,
I don't
it's
care
not
what
worth
they
it.
have. It
It's
is
off
not worth
limits.
it. It's off limits
Off
completely.
limits.
All right. What is our next one? What's our next one there?
Oh God.
Dating a prisoner while he or she is still locked up. Audience, weigh in. Is it worth it? Not
That's
worth
to
it.
each his own.
I'm gonna.
I've heard some. My family member did it. I mean, to each his own.
To each his own. It didn't work for my mom and dad, but
I don't know. That's an easy. I mean, I'm gonna have to be in the middle.
Right, I'm gonna have to be in the middle too. I mean, it's definitely not for me.
It's not for me
Right.
because I'm already taken. So.
Okay. Well, listen.
But
thank you
thank
so
you so-
much for joining us today, and thank you, Miss
you for
Sula,
having
for
me
being
here.
here with us today. And listen, y'all watch the show. Subscribe by visiting our website, which is www.worthitTV.com, to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And then you can also watch the show on the Daily Gospel Network by downloading in Roku. But visit our website, subscribe to the YouTube channel, because y'all see my shirt. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it.
You are
Thank you.